All right. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us on this amazing reveal day. I've got someone with me who surely needs no introduction. It is the man, the myth, the legend, DC Marvel comic artist and inker, Mark McKenna. Mark, thanks for joining us. How you doing?
Great, Jason. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited for the big reveal tomorrow.
Totally. Me too. Um, it has been a long 18 days of wondering what our character will look like, and will we be hero or villain or something in between, and will we get any of those rare one of ones. So people are very excited to see what's going to happen. um I guess most people are just interested in, like, what are your thoughts about the project so far?
So, coming into this, I'm a year into crypto and NFT art, and I've seen it evolve over the last year, but I've never done anything as extensive as this project. So for me, to me, it's like Christmas all over again. I'm learning as everybody else is. We did the work, Ross J and myself did put all the time in and have stacks of pages. I mean, physical pages that we did weapons and powers and backgrounds and hairstyles and clothing, and to see some of the art on Twitter. And by the way, I'd love to see more of it as you guys are posting. Um, I'd love to see the evolution, and it's so cool to see things coming around. I don't know if this is a new kind of a feel for things like this in the platform, but it looks new to me, and it's exciting to see how things come together. Some of the stuff is funky. I have to admit, I see afros with white beards and priest garb, and and prison cells with a pipe. Feels like I'm
Right.
playing Clue, And then other times, everything seems to gel perfectly, like the halo with the wings and the
Yeah.
rosary beads, and that stuff is seems like it was almost meant to be that way. But it's so cool because it's such an eclectic, wide range of of things that come together.
Yeah, I agree. I have one of the Celestials, the Halo with holy armor. I thought that worked out well. So
Oh, okay, yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
um, so I agree. I've been trying to post more of that art, and we're going to be bringing out a tool on the website, essentially, that will allow you to create a GIF of all of your different evolutions, if you don't know how to do that yourself. But that may not roll out as soon as the website updates hits, but you will certainly be able to see all of your different evolutions in still images. And then
Mhm.
there's lots of tools that people can use to create GIFs. So that's going to be really awesome.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of questions about kind of future roadmap stuff. Everybody's really interested in the comic book. Everybody's really interested in the game. Can't wait for the game. What do you play any games? What kind of elements would you like to see in a game if you were designing one?
Well, I'll tell you, my son is a big board game guy, so he always tries to get the wife and I involved with playing new board games. We played a game called Splendor recently, which is a really game you're supposed to. I can't even explain how it works, but it's kind of like get to 15 points before anybody else, and you buy precious stones and you build up your totals. Play something called Sushi Go, which is a simple card game, just a card deck of cards. I'm into more classic games. We'll pull out the Clue board, or I have electronic battleship stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't know enough about what these guys are going to do with the games. Adam and Keith have great ideas, and I'm sure they're going to figure it all out, and I'm excited for where they go with that. As far as the comic book is concerned, I'm a comic book artist for 35 years. So if there's one thing I know how to do, it's how to put out a comic book, and hopefully something that's good. I've done my own comics. I understand, how to move things and shake things up and move things out. So when we powwow about that, I think I'll have some input on how that moves forward. And hopefully it won't be it'll be something that will excite everybody and not be a burden or just, a problem for anything in the future.
I think it'll be exciting. I know that we will have, by the time everybody's seeing this video, we're either about to announce or will have already announced some ways that the community can help out and get involved with the comics. So I think that's going to be really exciting for everybody. I might know this answer, but I suppose not everybody does. So what is your favorite or least favorite superpower?
Favorite would have to be kind of shooting repulsor rays, kind of a thing. Flying certainly is up there. Invisibility would have its moment, although, there's a creepy factor to that too. Least favorite, there's a substitute Legion of Superhero character. I think his name is Stone Lad, where I don't know if you heard of him, but his power is he turns to stone. But when he turns to stone, he can't move. So it's kind of useless,
Yeah.
Yes, that would be a rough one, I would think. I don't really know. Shrinking Violet, I don't know. Like Ant-Man kind of stuff.
Right.
But
that freaks me out. Going that small, I would get stepped on or something.
Yeah.
So this is something you may not have thought about. We just talked briefly about how this is all kind of new to you and the deepest you've ever gone in this field. So let's go deeper. Somebody wants to know where you see this project in 2 to 5 years from now.
That is the question, isn't it? My name is on the banner, and I'm still pretty healthy, and I can see myself being involved with it for the foreseeable future. I don't know about the future, though. That's the problem. I don't know where if all the components could come together and they can keep the excitement factor going. I can only see this thing, and maybe have the buyers participate in what would you like to see, and
Absolutely.
if it's within the realm of something we can do, I don't see why we couldn't tackle it. I mean, we have the talent for it, certainly.
I agree. I know what I would like to see, which is let's get a movie going. 5 years from now, that's plenty of time. Let's get that major blockbuster out there.
That would be that'd be huge. That would be huge. I do a sci-fi book called Combat Jacks. It's my own IP, and John Carpenter's wife, Sandy King Carpenter, wrote my foreword for my book, and I always imagine alien jack-o'-lanterns is something John Carpenter should make a movie out of. So
Right.
I mean, it'd be interesting if Heroes and Villains was, could be that thing for me, for us.
That would be really cool. Well, that's what I've got my heart set on. I won't expect anything less. So we'll get there.
We'll make you happy.
That's right. Thank you. So I think this is a sneaky way to get some information about the unique one-of-ones that we have. So without giving too much information away, if you can talk about or talk around kind of what maybe inspired you to make things a little bit more unique.
So when we did the one-of-ones, was asked by the guys to create unique characters that would, I'm not even sure how they play into people's hands. If you own an evolving avatar, do you have a shot at it? Do you have to, is that how it works?
That's right.
There's a very limited amount. I mean, I think there's 14 of them or 18 of them.
That's right. So of the roughly 3,000 that have been minted, 14 will turn into unique heroes or villains, and then 1 will turn into that shark.
Yeah, sure. Right. Yeah. Right.
And not even, I should correct myself. Not even of the 3,000. There's been 3,000 minted so far. It's possible some of those one-of-ones are still unminted, hidden somewhere in stuff people still need to pick up. So we are not likely going to see all 14 of them. Hopefully we'll see a few. It would be quite extraordinary if we either saw none or all of them today, but
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how they, some of that stuff is dear to me because I created, based on characters I created. Some of them are, d- just stuff that we made up. So that's kind of fun, and to see how they come together and how people, you know, take to them. I'm excited about that too. I don't have enough. I don't have a lot of information about it yet, but I did do the work, and I'm excited to see them come to fruition.
I love it. And that's in line with what I always answer, which is I don't know. You'll have to wait and see. So it's perfect. Um, what has been your favorite part of the project so far?
Really, it's come down to me seeing the final evolutions, having all the components come together. That is a lot like creating a comic book, if you think about it, because comic book is not one hand on deck. It's five hands on deck. It's a writer, it's a penciler, it's an inker, it's a letterer, it's a colorist, it's an editor.
Right.
Um, and this project, these evolutions are very similar to that. You get a character, you get a hairstyle, you get a clothing design, you get a weapon, you get a background, um, and then you see it come together. So for me, it's like a completed comic book each time because you get to see the evolution come to fruition. And to me, that's the reward right there because we're at home and we're creating this stuff, but you're doing it in pieces, piecemeal. So you don't get to see it how it looks uh, as you would at the end. So that's like when I had a comic book come out, whether I was doing Iron Man or the Punisher. I would hand in 3 to 5 pages every week, and for 3 months you wouldn't see the comic book until you went to the comic store, and then you see your comic on the stands, and then ultimately that's where your reward is.
Oh, cameo
Little
from
cute.
my cat. Perfect. Yeah, that is, I never considered that, but that makes sense that it's like you've done all this work and now I have to wait for the reveal. And yeah, was that like the first time you experienced that, finishing work on a project and knew it would take months before you actually got to lay eyes on it? Does that cause you anxiety? Do you just take it as it is? Or if it did cause you anxiety, have you gotten over that at this point?
Well, if you're busy enough and you have enough projects on the table, I mean, you jump right into the next project. And in this case, I did have a 20-page comic book that I had to get started, and it was with my counterparts Ross and Jay. We'll be doing this B movie that's coming out sometime, I believe, in December, and
Oh,
we're doing the movie adaptation for it. The movie's called Rock-to-Pussy. It's a B movie, kind of a B. I wouldn't know if you want to call it a horror movie, but kind of like well, not severely horror, but kind of a little bit schlocky horror, kind of, I would say. Uh, but that what that did is it allowed me to jump right from this one project right into from Heroes and Villains right into this other project. And then I was, developing product for other launches. So if I had nothing else to do, I would sit there, be chomping at the bit to see what this looks like. But I was fortunate that they built just enough time in where it didn't make me get, anxiety, and I was able to just move along with these other projects, and then now watch this thing come out, which is
yeah.
perfect.
That's and that's good advice early for most types of anxiety, which I'm no stranger to. Just keep yourself busy. So um,
Yeah.
Mo wants to know, or sorry, not Mo, I already asked you his question. I forget who asked it, but somebody wants to know who your favorite character is to draw and why is it Punisher?
Why is it the Punisher? Why isn't it?
Why is it the Punisher? Making a little assumption there.
Yeah, there you go. Well, a Punisher for me was 1991. Really, it's one of the books at Marvel that brought me back from DC Comics. If you follow comic books, I was on DC under contract for 4 years, from 87 to 90, 87, 88, 89, 90. Yeah, and then 91, I went back and got called from Marvel to do Doctor Strange, and I broke my contract and went over to Marvel, which is where I started. By the way, I was on staff at Marvel in the mid '80s, and I worked there for about 2 years. And then Marvel would never hire me to do a book. They always thought of me as a production guy who worked on staff and fixed other people's artwork. And then when I showed my samples at DC, they offered me a contract, and kind of started the ball rolling for me. But Punisher in '91, I was doing Doctor Strange, and then I got offered the Punisher, and I did 16 issues of the Punisher. There was 3 Punisher titles. There was a War Journal, War Zone, and then the Punisher title, and I worked on all 3 of them, and it added up to about 16 issues. So he's dear to me too. And in fact, when the books sold so well back in the early '90s, I actually made the editor a Punisher skull out of 14-karat silver that he could have, on a chain so he could hang it around his neck, which was a cool little thing.
Oh, that is cool.
But I worked on Iron Man, I worked on Doctor Strange, I worked on the Scarlet Witch, I've done Spider-Man, it's probably easier to know the comics that I didn't work on,
Right.
because I have I think something like 1,000 credits in comics.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. I can only imagine how it is to you. It's crazy to me, but all right, two more. I think we have while we're talking about Marvel and all of the characters you've drawn, do you keep up with the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Do you have a favorite of those movies?
Yeah, well, I just saw the Eternals the other day, and I have to be honest with you, I was not an Eternals fan. I did work on an Eternals one-shot called the Herod Factor, which I probably should see a royalty check from Marvel at some point for some reprint rate on that, because anytime a Marvel movie comes out, they reprint artwork,
Right.
stories from previous. And I just got a collection from the Doctor Strange run that I did, which means Doctor Strange 2 is coming out early next year. I
Yes.
lost the train of thought with that. What was the rest of that?
Do you have a favorite of the MCU movies?
Oh yeah, so the Avengers movies for me were the ones that I was a huge Avengers fan in the '70s, and my Avengers collection, in fact, the comic books I have number 1 to 150 of the Avengers. I actually bought number 1 when I was 13 years old for $7. And my mother said, "What are you spending your money on this crap?"
Right.
And now it's
Little did
probably
you know.
worth a few thousand at least, right? And then my Daredevil collection was pretty good, but those characters, I'm excited to see that Netflix did nice with the Daredevil and Jessica Jones and all that stuff, but it's nice to have it all back around in one big Marvel Studio loop, with that stuff. So the future, I'm excited about the future, specifically more mainstream characters than Eternals. Even, Guardians of the Galaxy. Look, I did work on some Guardians too. I did an annual back in the early '90s, but before I saw that movie, I didn't think that it was a movie I was even interested in, and it was certainly one of the best movies I'd ever seen in that universe.
Yeah, that's a fun one. I like that. I'm looking forward to the new Spider-Man. I guess the rumor is they're bringing back all the previous actors who played Spider-Man as some sort of multiverse deal. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Have you seen the Morbius trailer yet?
Uh, no, I don't think so.
Jared Leto is playing Morbius.
Oh no, I haven't seen that. I'll have to check it out.
Well, there's a little surprise in there too. They pull out one of the old actors, and you'll see. If you get to see the trailer, you can find it on YouTube. You'll get to see what they're doing there. I think a little bit, at least a hint.
Awesome. That's cool. Yeah, I love how everything is coming together. It's really a world of unlimited possibilities now.
Yeah.
And then lastly, this is a question we get frequently. And there's not really an answer because we don't know how all the evolutions are going to play out and how everything's going to work out at the end. But when you were at least drawing the characters or imagining the characters, was it your intention to try to do 50% heroes and 50% villains? We know it may not end up that way, but was that the intent, or?
The intention was to do half female and half male. I think. I don't know yeah, I don't think there was any intent on where this divide was. That's how I really, that's what I really know about it. I don't know if the guys up above me that decide had that decision, or I'm not even sure about how it pick and chooses how things work like that. So it's kind of cool in that respect.
Okay, well, there you have it, folks. We won't see 50-50, and it wasn't designed that way, or if it was, we don't know. So well, I think that's all of the questions that I got. So I really appreciate you taking the time to join us and to say hi to the folks. And I'm sure they'll be pinging you on Discord to answer their questions. So you can always stop by.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
And by the way, somebody people do reach out to me privately on Discord, and I don't have the under I don't do the development work. You know, I did all the artwork for it, but people
Right.
start asking me how come my rosary beads disappear
Right.
and reappear, and that has, unfortunately, I don't have an answer for that, and that's something that needs to be technically corrected.
That's right. So DM me instead your technical questions, and I'll get an answer for you if I can. All right. Thanks, Mark. Have a great rest of your day.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Jason. Cheers.
Thank you.